Hi, welcome to Strictly Sports, your weekly destination for true sports content.
I'm Boyce Brown.
I'm Spencer Gilbert, and before we get started in the show, us Colts fans, we really have something important to ask you guys real quick. If anybody has Martellus Bennett's doctor's phone number, can you please give it to us? Martellus, he recovered from a season-ending shoulder injury in 2 days.
Yeah, it was
so
fast.
Andrew Luck, he has probably a career-ending shoulder injury. So
He's in Europe right now, but
yeah, we need that doctor. So let's get into the show.
Alrighty, we're starting off today with our weekly game picks. Let's see here, our first game
Thursday night.
Thursday night football.
Titans at Steelers. Definitely gonna have to go with the Steelers here.
I gotta go with the Steelers too. They
high-powered offense,
Yeah, it was. They were. It was not the blowout that I thought it'd be at the Colts and Indy, but they still pulled out the win. And the Titans did look good last week, but I still gotta go with the Steelers here.
Yep. And then Sunday at 1 p.m. we got the Lions and Bears. I think it's pretty easy to take the Lions here. Matt Stafford, the Lions have been playing pretty well lately, and the Bears, they don't look to be anything special. Their defense has been a little bit better than anticipated, I think.
Yeah.
But
I gotta say Lions big here. I think this is gonna be a big blowout game for the Lions. I can't believe the Bears lost to Brett Hundley and the Packers last week. They just did not look good. They did not look like themselves. Those receivers with Golden Tate, Marvin Jones, and Matt Stafford, they're all just vibing right now, just making big plays left and right. So I got to pick the Lions big in this one.
And then we got the Jaguars at Browns. I don't think there's much discussion needed. Jaguars here. After that game, we have the Ravens at Packers. Should be pretty interesting.
I think I'm going to go with the Packers here. They pulled out a big one against the Bears, and they're at home right now. So I think that they got this confidence going into it. They're a little bit hotter than they used to be.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, they just lost Aaron Jones, their running back, but I just got to pick them. I think they're hot right now. They know what they're doing. Brett Hundley pulled out a win, so they know how to win with Brett Hundley. It's not somebody not Aaron Rodgers. And honestly, the Ravens, I still don't trust their offense. They got a good defense for sure, but I still don't trust their offense.
I'm going with the Ravens here. I think their defense will have a big day against Brett Hundley, and I think the offense, could be able to put up some points and pull out the victory here. And then after that game, we got the Cardinals at Texans. A couple really injury battered teams going at it. Call it the Injury Bowl for sure. I'm going to take the Texans here, probably just because they're at home, and both these teams are pretty similar, and they're both about just as good, pretty evenly matched up. But
yeah, I think this will be a good game this week. It should definitely be close. I can't take the Texans in this one. Ever since they lost to Deshaun Watson was having just a great year, and he was just throwing touchdowns everywhere. And the Cardinals, they lost some key players. Week 1, they lost David Johnson. Obviously, that was a huge blow. But they picked up AP, and AP's working. He's, just grinding out still all these years later. And I can take the Cardinals in this one. I don't like the Texans without Deshaun Watson. Tom Savage, it's going to be tough for them to get one with Tom Savage at QB. Next up, we got the Buccaneers at the Dolphins. I'm going to take the Dolphins on this one. Jameis Winston's still not looking good with his shoulder injury right now. It's probably going to be another Fitzpatrick, and we all saw what he did on Sunday with the interception trade-off. Josh McCown and him just decided to give the ball back, playing hot potato with the ball. So I got to take the Dolphins on this one. They haven't looked great all year, obviously, but I just don't trust Ryan Fitzpatrick, quarterback, right now.
after that, we got the Rams at Vikings. This should be a really good game. Is Bridgewater's...
Well, they don't know yet. Bridgewater's ready but it's up to Mike Zimmer right now.
But I still got to go with the Rams. They've been solid all year. The Vikings do have a good defense, but the Rams, they've just looked really, really good. Their defense has been playing good. Todd Gurley's been playing really well, and then Jared Goff's been pretty solid.
Yeah, I like the Rams in this one, but I can't pick them. I think I got to go with the Vikings here. After seeing what the Rams did against the Seattle defense many weeks ago, they just were shut out. It was a low scoring game. Mm-hmm. I think the final score was 10-3 or something like that. Or anyway, a low scoring game. That high powered offense, number one offense in the league statistically right now. They were just getting shut down.
Their defense also held Seattle to 10 points.
Yeah, and so I like the Vikings here. Case Keenum has looked really good. Adam Thielen. He's I don't know how it is, but he's been going off. He's had good games left and right. Stephon Diggs is still very solid. And their offensive line is a huge improvement off of what it was last year. So I got to pick the Vikings here. I think it'll be a close one, though. Maybe a field goal.
Yeah. And then we got the Chiefs at Giants. I mean,
pretty self-explanatory.
Ben McAdoo doesn't even know what planet he's on right now, so we got to go with the Chiefs.
Yeah, I go with the Chiefs here
pretty
too.
easily.
It's easy pick. Just better on all three.
Literally every aspect of the game, the Chiefs are better.
Yeah.
Redskins at Saints. I'm gonna go with the Saints here.
Yeah, I think we got to go with the Saints. That was pretty easy,
Yeah.
right? They looked good last week with 6 rushing touchdowns. One of them coming from their pocket passing quarterback, Drew Brees.
That's insane.
Mark Ingram went off with 3, and then Alvin Kamara followed that up with 2. So, yeah, they look really red hot. Defense is still balling out, and I got taken by at least a touchdown, maybe more on this one.
Yeah. And then we got the Bills at Chargers. This could be a close one. I'm going with the Chargers here just because the Bills did announce that they're starting their backup quarterback, and Chargers will probably be keen in on the run. LaShawn McCoy probably won't have a very big day, so they'll be trying to force. Can't remember his name.
Kelvin Benjamin?
No, the Bills quarterback, their backup quarterback. I can't remember his name right now, but they'll be forcing him to try and throw the ball.
Yeah.
And so until he can prove that he can be a vertical threat, I think they're gonna load up the box and.
Yeah, I gotta agree with you here. The Chargers, I think, are gonna take the dub. For one, they're at home, so that's just a bonus on top of that. But they looked pretty good last week against the Jaguars, in my opinion. I thought for sure they were gonna get totally just locked up, shut down, and the Jaguars would have another big win. But it was a close game. They definitely looked good. They looked good when they played the Pats too. They just lose a lot of close games. I don't think the Bills can keep it close. So I gotta take the Chargers in this one, but it should definitely be a good game.
Next, we got the Bengals at Broncos. This is a pretty decent matchup. Broncos obviously have a great defense, but offense is a big question mark with Brock Osweiler. And the Bengals, they haven't really lived up to their past seasons and how successful they've been.
Yeah, they don't look good this year. The Broncos right now, they're on a 5-game losing streak, so that's not good either. But
it's also
it's also the Broncos, so they have the toughest schedule in the NFL, in my opinion. So they got to find something. They got to find a way to win somehow. Their offense, their quarterback situation has looked awful. Trevor Siemian throws picks, so they sub in Brock Osweiler to throw more picks, and it's not good. But I still think that defense. I mean, it's AJ Green. That's really. I mean, they got AJ Green, Joe Mixon back there, and Andy Dalton, and that offensive line is not what it used to be last year after they lost a few people to free agent signings. So, I think the pass rush should get there.
Playing at Mile High is really really tough for other teams.
Yeah, it is. It is. It's a big
wears
change
on them.
Yeah. So Broncos got the home field advantage, and I don't like the Bengals very much this year. So I got to go with Broncos here to snap that losing streak.
And after that, we got the Patriots at Raiders. This should be a really good game. Probably two of the favorites in the AFC right now going at it. I'm going to take the Raiders in this one. They're at home. They look tough this year. The Patriots obviously coming off a big win, but they're not the dominant Patriots team that we've seen in the past.
Yeah, I would. I get what you're saying, but I think I gotta go with the Patriots here. I don't think it's gonna be that close of a game. I think the Patriots are starting to refine their groove right now. I mean, you saw what happened at Denver. I mean, they just.
But Denver's Denver.
Yeah, Denver's Denver, but they're home, and Denver's had a history of being Tom Brady's kryptonite. Didn't affect them at all last week. But yeah, I think I gotta pick them by at least 10 points on this one. They just look good. Loss of Chris Hogan. They have not lost a beat. The Gronkowski's still playing well.
Yeah.
And Deion Lewis returning kicks now. So I mean,
he's doing a good job too.
Yeah, I think I gotta go Patriots here pretty easily.
And then after that, Sunday night football, we got the Eagles at Cowboys. A divisional matchup here, but Cowboys without Zeke Elliott. I'm gonna have to go with the Eagles here.
Yeah, I gotta go with the Eagles too.
Wentz has been playing great, having an MVP caliber season. He's been really killing it.
Yeah, I gotta go with the Eagles here too. Just the Cowboys. Granted, they were at Atlanta, and I think Atlanta plays very well at home. It's just you can almost just feel the energy through the TV about just their home field advantage in that new stadium.
Yeah.
But they don't have Zeke Elliott, and this will be the second week that they don't have him. And last week when they didn't have him, Alfred Morris, I think he racked up 50 yards. Rod Smith racked up another maybe 20, and then Darren McFadden got one play. That was it. So, and their running game, even with that offensive line, the running game is just not the same as Zeke.
Yeah.
And
we're going to explosive running back.
Yeah, we're really going to see what Dak's made of these next few weeks, because everybody, since he come into the league last year as a rookie, he's been an absolute superstar. So, we are without his star running back to help him. Everybody said, "Oh, the running game helps him so much. He's not this good." So, last week, I guess we saw what happened. So without Zeke, so I guess we're about to continue to see and find out what he was really made of. But I got to pick the Eagles here.
And then Monday Night Football, Falcons at Seahawks. Should be another good game, but it's tough to win at Century League Field on a Monday night football or a Monday night unless you're the Seahawks. So
yeah,
they lost Richard Sherman obviously, and Julio Jones could have a pretty big night because they don't have a lockdown player to put on him anymore. Byron Maxwell, obviously, they signed in free agency, and he's a tough corner to go up against, but he's no Richard Sherman.
Yeah, I got to take the Seahawks here. I mean, the 12th man is a big factor right now.
Yeah.
Obviously, the Falcons looked great last week, but they just lost Devontae Freeman.
Mm-hmm.
So, I wonder how they approached the run game here, because Tevin Coleman's solid, but they always did a really good bounce off of switching up between the two, and they both got similar skill sets. But, but I could see Julio having a good game, finally. I mean, they still got Earl Thomas and Cam Chancellor waiting back there in the secondary for him.
Yeah.
And Byron Maxwell's not bad, in my opinion,
for a player like Julio,
Yeah, for a player like Julio. So I think if they... I think it comes down to the trenches here. I think it's going to be for their Falcons offense, for their line to just hold against the Seattle's pass rush. I think the Falcons could make it a better game, but I still got to pick the Seahawks overall because I don't see Russell Wilson being stopped by that defense, even though H.M. Claiborne had that big of a game last week.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't see him having that huge of a game against Dwayne Brown.
Yeah, with the 6 sacks.
Yeah, it's pretty tough to follow that up. The Seahawks offense will be keen in on him. And, they won't want to give that up again. But moving on. Moving on, we're going to talk about some college football now. We're going to talk about, who we think should be in the playoffs right now and who our final playoff, what we predict our final 4 teams will be.
Yeah, I got to say, I'm very excited for this year's playoffs. I hate that Notre Dame lost so badly to Miami. The convicts took that one pretty big too.
Yeah,
the interception chain was just getting passed around. Ed Reed was on the sideline just celebrating with
They
them
were
all.
pumped up for that game.
Yeah, that sucked. It not fun watching. I'm not gonna lie. I didn't finish watching it. I made it to the third quarter and I was like, all right, I'm done with this garbage.
I thought it was pretty fun.
But it's definitely gonna be a good playoffs this year though.
I definitely think the college football needs they need a big playoff this year. Obviously, last year ratings did go down after the second straight Clemson-Alabama final.
Yeah, exactly.
And
Clemson
2 teams
doesn't look the same, I don't think.
Clemson, yeah, and the thing about Clemson is they have to play Miami in the ACC championship this year, most likely, unless one of them starts for some reason losing a lot of regular season games.
Yeah.
So I definitely think Miami won that game. They brought a lot of energy this whole season. I think they're a freight train and.
They're just good. They're pumped up right now. They're hot.
I think the only person that can stop that freight train is Baker Mayfield. So
really, okay.
Yeah, Baker. I think right now my playoff prediction is going to be Oklahoma at number 1, Miami at 2, Auburn at 3, and Ohio State at 4. It sounds kind of out there because few of my teams I have in the playoff aren't even in there right now. But I think Auburn will beat Alabama. And after they beat Georgia this year, I think those 2 wins will get them in. And then I think Ohio State will win the Big Ten. And it'll be with if they beat Wisconsin, they have a decent resume and they still have a chance to get in if a couple more teams lose. And I think that's going to happen. I think Alabama will lose. That'll definitely give them some space. And Notre Dame's obviously dropping. So
yeah, I think Notre Dame's definitely out. Like they're no more in discussion. They looked good. Obviously, going into the Miami game, they're very one-dimensional. We know they couldn't pass the ball, and but they had a great run game. Like that one dimension they were good at, and that they shut that down. And then they just started. I mean, you saw the play right before the half. I mean, it's horrible what happened to them. Very not happy about that game.
Yeah.
But so I think Miami's if I'm gonna pick the playoffs right now, I think I'm gonna go Alabama number 1. I'm gonna pick Miami 2. I don't want to pick Clemson in this. I really want Clemson to fall out. I liked Auburn in there at number 3, which you said.
I said Auburn at 3.
Yeah, so I think I want to say Oklahoma at 3. For number 4 though, it comes down to I think the Georgia Bulldogs can maybe pull their way back into the discussion. I still think overall, like team wise, they're the best team, but their record obviously shows what happened. So, but they're 7th right now, and they could definitely work their way back up into number 4. So, it just depends on who loses, I guess. So, right now, I think it's too early to say Georgia could make their way back into it. So, I'm going to go 1 Alabama, 2 Miami, 3 Oklahoma and Baker Mayfield's boys, and number 4 is just got to go with Auburn. I like Auburn. They look good against Georgia, who is hot and rolling. So,
this year I don't really see 2 ACC teams making it. I definitely don't think Alabama I think it would have to be one or the other because they're going to play in the SEC championship this year. Mm-hmm. So playoff committee, we're going to watch them play on a neutral field. And that's going to be an elimination type game. Nobody's going to want to watch them play basically the same game 2 weeks later. So, and I think that'll tell us that'll tell the committee all they really need to know about who should be in the playoff, who shouldn't. And I think if Alabama loses they had a really close call at Mississippi State. Their defense does not look to be the same defense that we've seen in the past. They're definitely injured, fighting the injury bug right now. So I think Auburn will take advantage of it. Auburn will beat them in the Iron Bowl, and then either whether or not Georgia beats them or not, I think Auburn will look like the strongest SEC team at the moment in the playoff committee. I think they'll have to go with them, but to be honest, I think I got an Oklahoma-Miami championship game, and I think that game would be great for college football. That'd
be a great game. That'd be a fun
that'd
game
be
to watch.
That'd be one of the highest watched games. Probably
Heisman, versus
Yeah.
Miami. And college football is just better with Miami, I think.
Yeah, definitely.
It's just it's a big city. I mean, they're from Miami. You get like movie stars and all these other people like rooting for them. But
it's college football. It's better
It's
when
not bad
Miami or
football, it's
USC
NFL
are
football,
good.
so.
They're two fun teams. They're definitely a fun team to watch, and they attract a lot of viewers, and that's good for college football.
Mm-hmm. So let me ask you this, Spencer: who is your first two out?
My first two out, probably Wisconsin, definitely.
Yeah, I can
because
agree with that. I kind of think
they're
not
perfect, but they haven't played a strong schedule.
Yeah, exactly.
You don't know what they'll look like against a good team. If they played like a Penn State, Ohio State.
I don't know if you've ever seen The Herd with Colin Cowherd.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, he calls them the fake ID. Yeah, I love that show. He calls them the fake ID of college football, and he's right. I mean, they're 8, whatever they are. I mean, they're undefeated, but they just
we don't know.
they play teams that they should be undefeated against. So
they played a cupcake schedule.
Yeah, so I don't think you could put them in until they really gets a good win against a solid ranked team. So that's in the discussion as well.
My other team, first out is probably Georgia, just because they obviously beat Notre Dame in South Bend this year. They've looked good all year except for that game against Auburn, but
they look bad against that game against Auburn.
They didn't terrible.
Yeah, they didn't just lose a close one. They looked bad. So
should be interesting to see what goes on there.
Yeah. So
Boyce, who do you think is going to win the Heisman this year?
I think there's a few they're talking about right now, but it's kind of hard to say somebody other than Baker Mayfield.
Yeah,
he's just,
definitely.
I mean, I don't know. He's the golden boy for it.
Yeah.
He's a quarterback. He's looking great. I mean, his team. He's kind of leading his team right now to a college football playoff run. And who knows, maybe even to the BCS championship. So, or whatever. Sorry, college football.
But I would have to go with Baker too. He, after his performance against Oklahoma State, it's pretty tough to argue. He looked fantastic, had a fantastic game, pulled out the close win. Oklahoma State probably had some questionable clock management that could have cost them that, but Baker still went out and executed and played great. In every big game that he's played in this year, except he's played pretty well. He's definitely shown up. They obviously had an off week at Iowa State, but with college football, you kind of got to give a team a one game pass, so to speak. Whenever they lose a game, you kind of got to let them. The playoff committee usually gives them, one loss is okay. That doesn't kill a team.
Little buffer zone or
These
whatever.
are teenagers. These are college age kids.
Yeah,
they're gonna have an off week.
Not only do I think he's like the Heisman front runner and gonna win the Heisman. I mean, he's a top NFL prospect right now.
Definitely.
I mean, his quarterback play is just like a step above every other college quarterback. Just his arm and just his
he looks so
like an
good when
NFL quarterback.
plays.
Yeah, he does not look like he should be playing with these kids. Like he looks like he's a few years ahead of them.
He looks just a step ahead of his
he's just got the arm power and.
But if I were him, I'd probably think about taking a step back because the Browns probably got their eye on him. So.
Yeah. It's a good thing.
I don't know if I'd want to.
It'll be interesting to see how the draft plays out this year because obviously they have Kaiser and Kaiser's not.
He's already benched. So.
Yeah. So I mean, it'd be easier because I saw a mock draft not too long ago about they're taking Saquon Barkley #1 overall, and. I don't know how I felt about that. I think the offensive line.
I don't know about that.
Yeah, so and a quarterback, most important.
You don't take in NFL. You don't really take unless it's like Bo Jackson or Jim Brown or Barry Sanders. You don't take him first overall. You don't take a running back first overall.
Yeah,
he has to look like
Zeke,
the most amazing running back you've ever seen. It has to, especially with a quarterback like Baker in the draft. Or there's going to be some great. Defensive players in the draft too. Mm-hmm. So I think it'd be tough to take Saquon first overall, especially with how he looks like a guy that can do it all. But he reminds me a lot of he's a running back, but he looks he can catch the ball. He's good on the Wildcat. He's a great runner. He's good on special teams, but that's what we thought about Jabril Peppers too, and he's
Look at him now.
not that good. He's not turning out that good so far. So.
Yeah, it'll be interesting. I'm excited for the draft this year, obviously, because my Colts aren't making a playoff run, so I'm looking way ahead to keep losing games and just
offensive line, for the love of God.
Yeah, offensive line. Just
or defense.
A cured quarterback, whatever it takes, and
All right, so we're going to be winding down the show right now. We want to thank everybody for tuning in, and make sure to follow us on Twitter. See the @ right there.
Strictly Sports.
Yeah, and we'll be tweeting some good sports content. We just need a few more followers because right now it's just Boyce and my mom that follows us. So make sure to hit us up, follow us, and we'll be posting the show weekly. So
have a good weekend of sports, and
take care.
See ya.